All right, so it is our very first, what do we want to call this thing, Carla?
Expand your network training with Carla and Brent.
Woo! All right, so since we're recording this, I'll kind of introduce Carla, and then Carla, you can kind of give a little bit of your history. So let's keep it about 5 minutes apiece or less. And so let's tell us about you, Carla. Carla Hurd.
Well, wait, how far back do you want me to start?
Let's start with just before Isogenics and then through Isogenics.
Okay. So just before Isogenics, I was with another direct sales company. It was home party sales, and I did that for 24 years. And it's a different business model than Isogenics, and it's still a consumable product, but you know, it was different in the way that not everybody was helping each other out in the way that Isogenics does because of the two legs. So we were asked to check out Isogenics several times before we finally said yes. And when we did, we pretty much knew right away that we wanted to be a part of it, but we didn't sign on the dotted line until about a week later. Then when we did, we just were intending to be consumers. But we also, the day that we joined, we did sign up 2 of our friends as customers because we wanted to get the $150. And that's what it was, is we got $150 when we signed up 2 people. We had, and it's solely because my husband said, you better get that money back. We just got the 30-day pack, you better get that money back. So I did sign up, I became a consultant the day that I joined. And then I didn't do anything with the business for about a month. And then I started to have some changes in my body. And those of you that know me now, I do have a large network from the previous direct sales company. I'm a member of a church that's pretty big. And on top of that, I have a big mouth and I live in a small town. So word spread quickly. And we had 100 people by the end of the first 6 months. We made $17,000 actively working for like 4 months. And we were just like, oh my gosh. So then we dropped the other company officially and we went full on with Isogenics and love the business model a lot. We really, really do. We love the paychecks. We doubled our pay the next year. So our income came in, we doubled it. So that was amazing. So we love that, but we're finally in a place where we're actually really for real helping people get healthy mind and body. And that's what we didn't know that we needed in our life, was we needed to really, truly help people. Because a candle looks great on the mantle and I loved getting those pictures, but was I changing their life? Not really. But now we really are. So I'm a little after 2 years. We're like a 2 years and a month in, and excited because we're like number 104 in the country with the Leader in Action stuff. So we get to go to Grand Cayman for free.
For free.
Can't believe it.
Grand Cayman in October because you worked really hard for 6 months. That's why. So,
yeah.
So basically what you're saying is that you started off as a good customer, because we call a good customer somebody who, if you're going to be a customer, why not be a good one? And that means take advantage of what's offered. Like, why would you not grab the coupons off the shelf, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as when you use your credit card, you get an awards program. They send you an email, you're going to activate it. Right. You know, we just activated our membership.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think that's a way that we should talk about it more, because it really is. And you brought that up once before, is just talked about the fact of coming in as a good customer, taking advantage of what the store is offering from the word go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, so my quick story is that I started with Isogenics in 2012. I had no intention of doing any business with it at all. I was not a great customer. I started off, I just kind of bought products along the way. I bought them when I wanted them. And after 11 months of using them, I finally started kind of telling a few people, mostly because the person that enrolled me said I should. And I kept pushing it off. And finally I was like, all right, fine, I'll do this because I can make a few bucks. And I saw that person making some money. And I was like, if that person can do it, I think I can do this, right? So I started promoting it a little bit, made a few $100 a month for probably 3 or 4 months. And then I finally was like, this money keeps showing up. Maybe I should look further. And that's when I started looking further. And then Tracy convinced me to go to an annual celebration. Ice Jinx hosts an annual celebration every year. And so she convinced me to go to one. And I wasn't excited about it at all because I knew it was going to be a bunch of rah-rah and hugging and all that kind of stuff. And that really wasn't my thing, wasn't my jam at the time. But what I found out is that it wasn't real. And those of you who go, those of you who've never been to a celebration, if you go to one, your first experience is like, wow, this is overwhelming, unless you really like that feel, right? That was foreign to me. So to me, it seemed like made up at first, but then what you really figure out is that everybody really is energetic. Everybody really does, they do care, and they're at least willing to share their experience, and they're just super excited to see you there. So from that, and we learned a lot while we were there, and from that catalyst, we started growing the business. And we've been very fortunate. My sister started early on. She actually rank advanced way faster than I did. So we started off in a good way because of that. And I will tell anybody that starts this business, you need 2 rock stars on your team. And it doesn't matter if you enroll them or somebody else enrolls them. You just need 2, one on one side and one on the other. And amazing things can happen, like really, really amazing things. And so now this is all we do. Tracy was an owner broker of a real estate, very successful real estate company, owned a really large property management company. We sold that off. She still has her brokerage license, and she has one girl that still hangs her license under her because she's been with her for over 20 years. And there's really no other reason that she has it other than just to kind of keep it as something that we have, right? So that's kind of the story of Brent and Tracy. And when we became a partner in this, and you don't have to be a partner with your spouse in it, but if you do choose to be a partner with your spouse in it, it can also be very powerful that way. One way that I will tell you that it becomes very powerful, especially for couples that have been married a long time, is it gives you it gives you something to concentrate on other than your house payments, your house bills, your day-to-day life, your children. It gives you another thing. So now Tracy and I can talk about how can we help Carla and Jason? How can we help Ryan? How can we help Julie? How can we help Tammy? How can we help Diana? How can we help these people? So now we're having a positive conversation between 2 positive people, and that just causes a better household relationship. So just as a side note, I would tell you that it can be very powerful that way. So that's our start. That's how we started.
That's amazing. Your first product you bought was ISA Pro, right?
Yeah, I think I got ISA Pro, and I think I got like the e-shots or something. I can't even remember. Honestly, I don't even remember. Literally, Andy told me, he says, hey, you need to try this. And I went back and told Jill, I need it. And at that time, you had to sign up. You had to give all your information. You had to give, everything. But I trusted them, right? I trust them to this day. I trust them. So I just gave everything they wanted. She says, I need this, this, and this. And here it is. Credit card, yeah, here it is. Okay, yeah, I'll spend about, $200. Here it is. And I was done, right? And that was the extent of my enrollment. I wasn't hard to enroll. It took me a while, but I wasn't hard to enroll. All right, so from there, let's talk about the purpose of this get-together, which is expanding your network. And before everybody got on here, Carla and I were kind of talking about your network and some different terms. So I think in the 15 to 20 minutes that we have, what I wanted to cover is network, commitment level, and comfort level. So let's stick with those 3 topics, Carla. Network, commitment level, and comfort level. And then let's go with network. What does network mean to you, Carla? Like, what do you think when you think network?
Your network is, this is just from my own brain. I should have Googled this. But your network is everybody that you touch, everybody that you know. Your network is your Facebook friends, even though you don't see them. Even though you might not know them in person, that's part of your network. The people that you work with are your network. Your family's your network. network's a business word, but your friends and your family are your network. Those, your neighbors, just every human that is around you that you influence in any which way is your network. You do not, even the guy at, like, if you go to the same gas station all the time, that guy, and he's the cashier, he's in your network. So it's anybody that you have some kind of influence or impact over, or that you give your money to, or that you, whatever, that's your network.
I like that. Yeah, and I think if people think about it that way, it makes them realize that they've got a bigger network than they think.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, honestly, when you sit down to eat at a restaurant, your waitress can become part of your network. She's certainly part of your network at that restaurant, because you can't get to the cook yet through the waitress or the waiter, right? So you got to order. So she instantly becomes part of your network. And quite honestly, she needs to talk to you. She wants to talk to you because that's part of her job. So it allows you some liberty to have some level of conversation with them if that's something that inspires you to have happen, right?
Right, exactly. So hey, you guys, people are going to come to your mind while we're talking. So please, if you haven't already, grab a blank piece of paper for making a contact list. I mean, as we're talking, people are going to come to your mind. So just so that you have a place to write this down, separate from your notes is what I'm saying. Because we are going to say some good stuff too.
That's right. Good stuff coming on. So with networking, so let's have some. And we made some of them, but I'll see how many of them you remember. So what are some ideas that you have about how you can connect with people? Like where do you go, right? You want to connect with people. Actually, let's start this way. The first 5 or 10 people that you enrolled, where did they come from?
They were my family and my best friends.
Okay. And then once you got past them, where was your next level of friends? So let's start with the first one. So let's just start with family and friends. And some people, that's not an option, because some people's family and friends aren't really people that they really want to have in their group. So don't feel obligated to enroll family and friends, but just know that is an option. So family and friends. So then from family and friends, what would you say is your next tier?
People that I used to work with in my previous company, in our previous business, they were next.
So maybe coworkers.
So exactly. So coworkers. So, but here's the thing. We do have some family members that are like Isogenics, so, but they're still in my network for Isogenics because they're still part of the avenue, so, let me think of somebody, I can't even think of somebody right now. Oh, my sister Carol. She does not want to use it. She doesn't want anything to do with it. But I still say, well, listen, you know what I'm doing. You know what me and Karen are doing. So just keep us in mind if somebody you meet needs to lose some weight or get healthy. So she's still part of my network, even though she's not a buyer or customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Asking for those referrals.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so
Jason calls them combat multipliers. Those people that aren't users, but they still want to help you, combat multipliers.
What do you call them?
Combat multipliers.
Combat multipliers.
That's Jason's word.
Yeah, I can see that.
Words.
Yeah, they increase the potential of people that you can talk with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we got family and friends, we got coworkers. What would you call as your next level?
Next level was people through church.
Okay.
So different organizations that we're involved in.
So if you're a soccer mom, soccer dad, if you're in different parts of organizations, book clubs, reading clubs.
If you play softball.
Yeah, softball, baseball, any organizations, right?
Yeah.
So how would you connect with somebody in an organization, or how would you coach somebody to connect with somebody in an organization? So you're at a softball game.
Right. Well, first thing is, like, if I'm playing softball, then I'm drinking Isogenics and I'm bringing Hydrate for everybody. I mean, that's the first thing that I did. the other thing is that we sponsored the team. So we were all ISA shakers, which was fun. But if I was sitting on the sidelines watching the kids play sports, then, you know, there's different things that I would do to kind of bring up the subject. So somebody would, like, the question I would ask if I was sitting next to a soccer mom is, Michelle, what are you guys doing this weekend? And then she would tell me, and then she would ask me what I'm doing. And I would say, well, I have a sip and sample on Saturday morning, and then I'm going to go to fitness class. And, you know, I would kind of name off some things that are connected to Isogenics in a way for me to either talk about it comfortably or for her to ask me about it.
Well, leading
so
question. Leading
yep.
comment, maybe.
Leading, open-ended, you know, and depending on the conversation, I might say something like, hey, do you know anybody that needs to get healthier? Because I could probably help them. I have something that may or may not help them. That's a good line, huh, Brent?
And I agree with that too. I think organizations are big. Tracy and I go to Zach's baseball game for one, or basketball games. For one, we never go without something on that indicates that we're with Isogenics. Whether it's a shirt, a hat, pair of shorts, whatever, something will have, you know, our shaker bottles, something will have that on it. And either through name recognition, we'll get people to ask us, or they might just see the colorful, pretty drink that we're having and, oh, what are you drinking? And so then that can also solicit conversation, right?
Right.
I think the next little note I wrote down underneath it, organizations, and some people, they find this difficult, but we talked about this earlier about kind of getting out of your comfort zone. One of the ways of getting out of your comfort zone is to become some sort of somehow involved in the organization. So maybe you become the scorekeeper, or you become the secretary for the group, or somehow you become an influencer within the groups. You volunteer. You become a volunteer somehow. And by volunteering, you just elevated your level of connectivity within that group. And the other thing generally is if you become a volunteer, you generally get put on a mailing list. Right. Because now you are now on a mailing list, so now you have contacts to everybody. And since I hate email, and I really do, then I always ask people, hey, could you guys connect with me on Facebook? Because that's really the better way for me to connect. And then that way I connect with people on Facebook through that, or through social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But my goal is always going to be to bring people into my social media world. That is my goal beyond goals is always to get people into my social media world. Okay? Yeah,
for sure. And, you know, I'm sure that Ryan and Tammy have heard me say this tip. This is a very common line that comes out of my mouth all the time. If I meet somebody that I've connected with, sometimes it's on the first meeting, depending on the circumstances, and sometimes it's not. But I always say, Tammy, you are such a delight. I have to have you in my life. I have to. You're awesome. I feel like I might not see you again, so we should connect on Facebook. Would it be okay if I friend requested you? And then we do that. I friend request her, and then I send her a message, probably the next day or so when she's accepted. And then I start up a conversation. Like, Tammy, this was so awesome this week at summer day camp. Did you guys have fun? Whatever it is. I've done this when my kid got in a car accident. I connected with those people that he hit, and I've connected with people at the different. So this is another thing that I try to do is I try to attend or put together events that would bring people together so I could meet new people. So we put together a suicide awareness class in my town, and people came, and this lady came, and we connected. And then I said that line about being Facebook friends, and, she just became a consultant on our team yesterday. So it started from that connection on Facebook, and then she was curious, and then, so on and so forth.
And that's awesome. And here's the thing. One of the biggest ways that I got started in Isogenics is I created a cycling group, right? So we talk about walking groups. We talk about different. My hobby. Excuse me. My hobby is cycling. I really enjoy road bike riding. Right. So since I enjoy cycling, I created that group, and through the creation of that group, I've enrolled a good portion of the people in that group, right? So a good portion of the people that were cyclists have somehow become involved in Isagenix. Whether they're just, most of them are just straight customers, but they use, the nitro, they use the recover, they use the protein. So they use different things. And then, like you said, I sponsored a jersey, because my group, I can sponsor the jersey, right? So then on everybody's jersey has our logo on it, right? So that is one of the things, again, that you can do. So, and one of the comments we wrote down here is start up a group. Start up, like Carla said, start a suicide awareness group, right? A class, right? She held a class. Start up a walking club. Start up a knitting club. Start up a sewing club. Start up a whatever it is that you want to do, but something that is that makes sense to you, that allows you to connect with more people, right? So your goal is to increase your network, and here's the interesting thing. Carla and I have yet to say anything about selling anything to anyone about Isagenix. You guys get that? It's super important you get that. We have yet to say that we've sold anything. This is all relationship building. Okay, these are all ways to build relationships with people. It's not about selling them Isagenix. People are going to purchase, they're going to decide to buy Isagenix from you for the same reason that I decided to buy Isagenix from Jill and Andy, because I trusted them and I liked them, and they suggested it at some point. Okay, so creating these groups allows you a way to have connection, right? Allows you a way to build relationships. So the groups, the cycling groups or setup events was one. Go ahead. You got a comment on that, Carla? I'm looking for the next thing.
Yeah. So you guys are probably wondering, well, how can I do that? How can I start a walking club or a reading club, or even get people to come work out with you? So you really just need to find 2 people. I mean, you could start with 1, but 2's better. Just find 2 friends, text them, get a hold of them, and say, I'm going to start walking every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Will you please join me? Because I need you to hold me accountable. I want to read this book, Mindset, by Carol Dweck. Do you want to read this book with me? Ryan now knows my trick. Do you want to read this book with me? Because I need somebody to hold me accountable. I need you to hold me accountable to read this book. So I need Ryan to read this book with me. He's in my reading club. And then we're just going to blossom from there. You're going to go on the walk. You're going to love it. You're going to take a picture. You're going to put it on Facebook. And you're going to say, we're going to do this again on Wednesday. Anybody want to come? And then you're going to tag your 2 friends that came with you. And then it's going to grow. Trust me, it's going to grow. You do not talk about Isagenix per se, but you have your Isagenix cup with you. And, week 3, you can take some hydrate and hand them out to everybody. I mean, trust me, this works. It works. Like-minded people together, it works. So you will find out when you are starting this walking club or asking people to come to a fitness class with you. There's a new fitness class in Bridgeport starting Monday night. It's called Work Fitness. So who wants to come with me? My sister did this post. So many people commented on it. So many people. So now she has a group coming with her to Work Fitness on Monday night. Those are her people that she's going to end up talking to about Isagenix. So then you just kind of who cares if it's small, you guys? Just please start something like that will expand your network. And then you start saying, so what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you're getting fit because you're walking and doing this fitness class. So what else are you doing? Because I'm doing Isagenix. I mean, you don't have to be weird and salesy about it, but you got to get it out there. You got to get to the point, because there's nothing that anybody hates more than you're beating around the bush. Like, are you trying to lose weight? Oh, okay. Don't do that. Just say, so what are you doing? Because I'm doing Isagenix, and it's freaking awesome. It's helping me.
Well, and Tammy just made a great comment about using she said that she went to a garage, she went on to pre-existing site, her site, the garage sale site. And then she said she wanted to start a walking group. And so she's gotten comments. That's perfect, right? Go to your bunco group, right? When you go to bunco, when you go to one of these other events, you take your isogenic shaker cup with you when you go to this event. If you're a poker player, if you play cards, whatever it is you do, you take your shaker cup with you, but then you invite the people that are there to something else, right? You don't have to sit in your bunco group and try to sell isogenics. That's not going to be cool. People are they may not invite you back because if the host doesn't like it, then it's weird, right? Because she's there, she's selling something else, right? So, but you go with your shaker, and then you say, hey, I'm starting up a walking club, or hey, I'm doing a squat challenge with the special group that I'm in, right? This week, this whole month, we're doing that ab challenge that somebody started. I can't remember who started it. Somebody started an ab challenge. Hey, we're doing a 30-day ab challenge in this group. Anybody'd like to join it, let me know. I'll throw you in there, right? Now you can throw these people into great nutrition and they can follow along with the ab challenge. Right?
But if you don't say something to them, if you don't say something to you, it's the same as you're posting and praying. So at some point, you do have to say, what are you doing? Because I'm doing isogenics. You should try it. You want to try isogenics with me? Like, you need to just say that.
Yep. Absolutely.
At your comfort level and at the right time. But you've got to do that. It's wonderful to have all these networks and all these different groups, but they need to know what you're doing because that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the second point, you know.
And that's so inspirational, and it's such a great comment is these groups, you guys. So I think we'll wrap it up. It's
wait, I gotta say something about the comfort level.
Yeah. Now let's do comfort level next week.
Oh, come on.
All right, give a teaser. Go ahead.
Okay, a little teaser is because I know two people on here right now. I can read their minds. They're like, I'm not like you, Carla. I can't do that. So I just want to tell you that asking you to expand your network at your level, okay? At your level, +1. So I'm asking all of you to get a little bit uncomfortable. And you could think about that. We'll talk more about it. But expanding your network at your level, okay, you might think I'm up here with expanding my network, but when I do it, I try to go one up. I try to get uncomfortable, and I'm scared to talk to people. Sometimes I really am scared to talk to people, but I just get uncomfortable a little bit. It feels weird. It's like crossing your arms the wrong way. Heard that on a podcast. Okay, so we'll talk more about that, like how to get out of that and how to get yourself more comfortable in these groups. Yeah, I got some good tips on that too.
Cool. So next week, what we'll do is we'll do this next week again. Next week, we'll do this again, and let's talk next week. What I'd like to do is everybody that's on here, if you're on here, or if you listen to this offline, come on this group next week and tell us what you did to try to get involved in a new group and new network, because that's our keyword today, right? Our keyword today was network. So starting with the word network, I want everybody to talk about what did you do to try to increase your network? Did you start a group? Did you go into a group and try to create something more than just I entered another Facebook group, right? That doesn't count, okay? You created something or you engaged in something that brought you into a new network of people, okay? So that's the activity a recommendation for next week. Sound good?
Yes, I love it. I'm excited.
All right, that's our 30 minutes, Carla. We held it at 30 minutes exactly.
That's amazing for us because, I like to talk.
I know, right? All right, you guys have a great day. Have a good day, Woob. See you next week.
Thanks for getting on, Woob.
See all you guys. Hopefully see several of you next week at Celebration. So have a great week.